Hello, my name is Liam, and today I'm going to be talking about the Paul W.S. Anderson film, Resident Evil: The Final Chapter, released in 2017. This is apparently the last movie in the Resident Evil franchise. Uh, I was going to start with like a non-spoiler filled review and then do a spoiler and then do like a spoiler filled part. But I'm just gonna talk spoilers throughout the episode. No one really cares about spoilers for this movie. If you do, if you're a diehard fan of the Resident Evil franchise, then if you're a fan of this franchise, you're probably gonna like this movie. So I would just go out and see it and watch it. You'll enjoy it. Now, I wouldn't consider myself one of the diehard fans of this franchise, but it's definitely a franchise that I enjoy. This is actually the first of these movies that I watched in theaters. I think I started I think I probably started watching these movies probably sometime around Retribution came out. I didn't watch Retribution in theaters, but I haven't been watching these movies the whole time. And I know they're not I know they're not perfect movies. They got a lot of flaws in them, but to me I find them enjoyable. And, sometimes that's all it's and sometimes that's all it's about with the movies, as long as you can enjoy it, really. Yeah, I do enjoy the Resident Evil movies. They all kind of seem bl- to blend together. I forget what happens in which movies, very much like the Saw franchise. After Saw 3, I don't know who's in who's in what Saw movie, what happens. I don't know. But yeah, this is now they say that this is the final chapter, and I mean, I kind of believe them because I've been hearing Paul W.S. Anderson talk about it. He seems set that it's the final chapter, but the way the movie ends, it's just it's just so clearly leaving the door open for more potential story. Because spoiler alert, she doesn't die, which they make you think that she's gonna die, but she doesn't die. And even though they released the airborne antivirus, uh, it's not completely working yet. So there's still zombies and mutant flying things running around. So there could clearly be another episode or another movie where they just haven't the airborne antivirus hasn't killed everything yet, so they still gotta fight zombies and whatnot. Uh, I would say at first I kind of enjoyed the movie a little bit, and I do like the movie. It was fun. It wasn't that bad. But when I think about it a little more and more, some of the continuity stuff kind of bothered me. Like, it has a lot of continuity issues with the second Resident Evil movie, Apocalypse. Basically, in my opinion, it just completely erases that movie from continuity because like all the things we find out in Resident Evil Extinction, all these like reveals, so to speak, they were already reveals that happened in Apocalypse. You know, talking about who created the T virus and why they created it, and the Red Queen being based on the Red Queen was based on Angela Ashford, I think, and the T virus was created by her father to like cure her not being able to walk or whatever. None of that's true anymore. That was all a lie or something, because in the final chapter we find out that the Red Queen is based on Alicia Masters, I think it is, and the T virus was created by her father to cure her severe aging or whatever. So that's all completely gone out the window. And also, apparently the Red Queen can't hurt Umbrella employees, even though I think she killed a lot of Umbrella employees when the T virus first escaped in the hive. You know, like drowning them in water and killing them with elevators. And then I think the military team with Michelle Rodriguez, I think they were Umbrella Corporation people too, but she killed them with the laser grid. So I don't think that was their primary concern making this movie, is making sure all the continuity added up. This movie did kind of feel a little different from the other ones. Not too different, but the other ones, they're all kind of like pieces, like individual pieces. Like, you know, Apocalypse, it was them in the city, and then Extinction, it was them in the desert with the convoy. And then Afterlife, they were in the prison, and, you know, the rooftop of the prison, and then eventually go to the Arcadia. And then in Retribution, it's all about them in the main Umbrella headquarters and the testing grounds. This one was very like staggered, just like a bunch of set pieces. That's, you know, she goes from point A to point B to point C, just various places. You know, she starts off in Washington, D.C., and then she starts heading to Raccoon City. She gets... Oh boy, I just watched this. She finds a motorcycle, which... Okay, you set your motorcycle trap. You think, okay, anyone who's going to use this motorcycle is going to get electrocuted before they use it. So why send people down to try and fight the person if you can just wait for the motorcycle to electrocute them? Like, that was like 5 or 6 people who didn't need to die. I mean, I guess they don't... I guess they got a lot of expendable employees over in Umbrella. And then, you know, she gets knocked out. She's picked up by Dr. Isaacs, who apparently the one that died in Apocalypse, no, the one that died in Extinction. Apparently that was just a clone. So I guess that works out. But, you know, this is the real Dr. Isaacs now. And he had this whole weird, like, religious fanatic angle that kind of fell out of nowhere to me. That's not something any of the other movies had. And you don't even make it that long into this movie before you realize that he's not even the real Dr. Isaacs. He's just a clone. He's just another clone of the real Dr. Isaacs, meant to think he is the real one. I don't know why they needed to... I don't know why they needed to have 2 Dr. Isaacs. There could have just been one. Wesker's back in this movie. Apparently he doesn't have his regeneration powers and super speed and whatever he had from Afterlife. And he's a bad guy again, even though he was a good guy in Retribution. Because apparently he betrayed them. It was all a trap to lure them to Washington, D.C. so he could kill them. Sure, I suppose that works. I guess my biggest complaint about this movie is we've had a lot of supporting characters throughout the Resident Evil franchise. It's characters who are still alive. I think this would have been a very good chance. Like, if this is the final chapter, you want to bring some of those characters back. You want to, you want to see a lot of familiar faces, not just they just brought back Claire Redfield. Like, we don't see Chris Redfield, or we don't see Kmart. There's Jill Valentine. Who else is there? There's Leon Kennedy. Her adopted daughter, Becky, I suppose. I guess it's her daughter. I don't know. I don't know how I know all these people's names. Apparently, most of them died, supposedly, when Washington, D.C. exploded or whatever happened. But we have no idea what happened to Chris, because he was last seen on the Arcadia he was last seen on the Arcadia in Afterlife. It's very difficult getting these movies straight. Now, it turns out she was a clone of the girl that the Red Queen was based on. That sounds a little confusing. Which apparently this is something that the director knew from the beginning, all the way back from the first Resident Evil movie. He can say that, I don't know. But I think it's like implied that she wakes up in the bathtub the first time being a clone. That's why she has no memories of before that, even though she eventually gets memories of her relationship with Spence, I think his name is, and her meeting Spence's sister to betray Umbrella or whatever they were talking about. And we also find out that Umbrella did this all on purpose, that it was their idea to do that, to release the T-virus so they could wipe out Earth, because Earth was going to get destroyed anyway. They wanted to be the ones to destroy Earth, I guess. Which also still kind of conflicts the fact that in the first Resident Evil, it was all this random Spence guy. He was the one who went rogue and released the T-virus. So, there you have that. They're not really concerned about continuity, but if you were going to watch these Resident Evil movies for the first time, I would just skip Apocalypse, even though Apocalypse and Extinction are probably my favorites of the 5 or 6, how many there are. Because Apocalypse, it's just everything new and interesting you find out in Apocalypse just isn't true anymore by the time the final chapter comes along, so there's no even point of watching it. There were a couple things I did actually like. I know I spent most of this video just complaining about stuff, but I liked when the real Alicia Masters, I liked when she fired Wesker and allowing the Red Queen to turn on him and pin him down. Even though apparently Wesker's not in control anymore, because he's been in control of Umbrella for like 3 movies, and now suddenly Dr. Isaacs is in charge again. I don't know. And I did like that whole thing with the Dr. Isaacs clone, seeing like the real Dr. Isaacs, and he's just all confused and not able to handle that. But yeah. So anyway, I guess that's about all I got to say about Resident Evil, the final chapter. And I'll see you again next time.